Our next story looks at Paris. All eyes are on the French capital. It is hosting the Olympic Games. The Games begin on Friday. Officials say Paris will be the safest place in the world ahead of the Games. But the headlines don't bear this out. There's been a gang rape in the French capital. A 25-year-old tourist was raped by 5 men. No arrests have been made yet. The French police are still investigating. And while this case has shocked people, Paris is no stranger to incidents like this. And it's adding fuel to the political fire there. France's far right blames it on the rise of immigration. Is there merit to this charge? Our next report tells you.
It was around 5 a.m. on Saturday. But this kebab shop was open in Paris. It had a fair amount of customers. That's when a young woman walked in. She looked disoriented, she was unable to speak, her dress was partially torn off, and she was wearing it backwards. Soon, the terrified woman asks for help. She tells the staff she's been gang raped by 5 men. The alarmed staff surround her. Other customers try to comfort her. That's when a man enters the kebab shop. He walks up to her and he pats her back. That's when the woman gestures that he is one of the attackers. A customer confronts him. And the man flees. He hasn't been seen since then. When the police arrived at the scene, the woman narrated her ordeal. She's a 25-year-old Australian woman. She was a tourist in the city. And she was raped overnight by a gang of 5 men. Not much else is known about her testimony, but the woman said her attackers were men of quote-unquote African appearance. The French police are now investigating the incident. The Australian embassy has offered consular assistance. She had initially planned to fly back home, but later decided to stay in France. No other information has been provided. It's to respect her privacy. This incident comes just days ahead of the Paris Olympics. Right now, the French capital is almost under a lockdown. There's a huge police presence. 45,000 police officers are patrolling the streets. It's to protect the athletes and all those who will be in the city for the Games. So the question is, how did an incident like this take place amid all this surveillance? And it's not the first such case in Paris. In June, a British woman was allegedly gang raped in the French capital. That incident took place just minutes away from the location of Saturday's attack. In that same month, a 12-year-old Jewish girl was raped in an abandoned warehouse. In January, an American woman was raped in the city. She says she was dumped on the side of the road. In 2023, there were 93 rapes committed in public places in Paris. It's 2% higher than 2022. 77% of these rapes were committed by perpetrators who do not hold French passports. Majority of them happened around tourist areas like Champ de Mars. Most of the perpetrators were drug addicts. They were also homeless and unemployed. 20 of them were already known to the police. That means they have been pulled up before, for other crimes. France's far-right groups have blamed this on the rise of immigration. But reports suggest it's also a way to villainize migrants. Either way, this new incident raises a lot of questions for Paris. The French capital is hoping to welcome 1 million people for the Olympics. The Games are set to be the most heavily policed in history. But the question remains, is Paris truly safe?
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. The first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost